Sony's like backpedaling now. I don't even know what they're doing. I don't understand what Sony as a corporation is doing anywhere other than their actual video game brand. That seems to be the only stable head in that, like, I guess, like, Hydra that they have going on over there.
Yeah. I mean, what are they doing with their TVs? Because they tried to get the jump on 4K, and then they just went, oh no, we're going to wait to see if it takes off.
Are Bravia still even a thing?
Yeah.
Huh.
My 4K TVs are Bravia. I just like Sony TVs.
Oh yeah, they're good.
I think I just started not saying stuff right now because of all their 4K film downloads and stuff are like insanely expensive.
Yeah. I mean, 4K is stupidly expensive in general. It's like five or more than for like a 4K Blu-ray than it's normal. It's crazy.
Well, like I went and bought the new Kingsman on
Ugh, why would you spend money on that?
'Cause I like the Kingsman.
It's awful. It's so bad.
Well, like the 4K version was $15 more. I was like, what? Like, what do you want from me, people? Come on.
I'll be like, you can pay me the 15 and I'll take it off your hands.
I like that movie.
Oh, it's so bad. Such a letdown.
It did exactly what I wanted to do. I was like, could they go any stupider than the first movie and any more over the top? They're like, yes, we can.
Well, hopefully, putting link videos will be easy for you. I mean, on my videos since I got Caesar to do that in card.
No, it should be pretty simple. I'll just jot them down, and it takes a couple.
Yeah, I didn't know why. Because every time I look at them, it was automatically weird for me because they would just go links while I'm still talking. No, because I know the whole thing about the last 20 seconds. It's just really weird how they would post. I mean, when you post links to other videos and how you would end the video.
Yeah, welcome to YouTube. So I don't know. Everywhere seems to be switching. Like for like 2 days straight, I had the biggest issue with Twitter. It like forced an update, and I would boot it up, and then it would just shut down. Like it just opens up, shuts down. I was like, why? So it forced me to actually have to figure out my password to log in on the PC, which I haven't done in like 3 years. So I don't know.
I mean, you just press forgot password. Right?
Yeah, that was a whole headache because it was attached to like an old phone number or something that I don't have anymore. Oh my, yeah, it was that whole problem. So I was like,
I never verify my accounts with phone numbers. I just don't trust it.
Yeah,
you're not getting my phone number.
It's true. It's how it goes, I guess, these days. I don't know. Anybody been keeping up with that CES? Like, oh man,
I saw that they had holograms, and that's about it.
Yeah.
And then they had a blackout as well, which I found quite funny.
So I have quite a few like people I know from Vegas that I met there from con that are just kind of there because it's like the only thing you can really do, like the trade shows, because they're big. And they're like, dude, every other booth is literally some sort of AI or robot. I was like, no, you're kidding me. So they like do a walkthrough of the main floor. I'm not kidding you. There's like a robot or some sort of AI built into everything, like every other booth. It's almost like disgusting.
Well, Japan's really big into AI and robots right now, so.
Oh, they will be though.
Other than that, it's just me weathering the storm for what happened with the cryptocurrency and all the casuals freaking out and panic selling.
All right, how much money did you make, Tristan? Are you a trillionaire yet?
No, I really started by looked up into it. Right now, I'm in the positive with the 3 bitcoins I have right now. They're still green.
You have 3 whole bitcoins.
No, like the 3 types of different types of bitcoins for other things besides.
I was gonna say you've got like what 45 grand right there.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, I got like so far right now. I've only spent about like 60, and right now I got $125.
So, I have a friend who jumped in on it.
Yeah.
He put in like 300, but he didn't put it into the actual Bitcoin. He went ahead and put it into like one of the other like Z-list ones no one's ever heard of. And he took that 300, and now it's worth like 1,800. So he's like taking parts of that and throwing it into other small ones.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. But people are like going for like the top 13 ones that people were doing, and like one that was people were freaking out over because of what happened with South Korea, where they want to regulate it now. Was I think it was Ripple. Like for the past like 2 weeks, it shot up from about 12 cents to $6 and something cents.
Wow!
And then when
it's the thing, like cryptocurrency is all just going to collapse in on itself. It's not actually worth anything.
It's only worth the amount that people are actually going to use it for. So if people are not going to use that type of currency, then it's
let
basically
me ask
worth
a dumb question, because like I haven't looked too much into cryptocurrency. Like I know what it is. Can you physically take your cryptocurrency and cash it out for real world cash?
Yeah, but it's not adopted all like a lot of banks yet, so it's like
And it
very
never will. That's the thing.
pocketed, very pocketed areas. Like you could actually like go to like a ATM machine and exchange your whatever how many coins you have for actual money.
I say there's like 3 ATMs in London that do like Bitcoin and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, but now people are like freaking out, and I've been like reading stuff on Reddit and everything. Is all people that have been in the game for about like 4 or 5 years saying this is not a crash. This is just to see if people have their big boy pants and are willing to weather the storm.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a lot of stuff in it, so I was like whatever. I came back like because today I think like Ripple went down from $6 to about $2, and then the last 2 days it like went down to its lowest at like. Well, currently the lowest was about $1.70, and then now within the past 3 hours, it's sitting at like 210 to 230.
Damn.
Yeah, and I bought that. I have like 18 of those coins. I bought them at I think like 180. So.
But can't you just like mine them? You haven't actually got to pay for it or something like that.
Yeah, you can mine them, but it requires a lot of stuff. So.
Yeah.
Now, if they could put cryptocurrency into those robot strippers in Vegas, now I'm all in. I'm all in for that. Like just to swipe my like crypto card and have a lap dance from a robot. That's the future I want here. Okay.
It's just with cryptocurrency, it's just knowing what like real world uses it's going to actually be used for. So if you're
Which is basically nothing.
Yeah, unless like because most of the time when people do invest, they make sure that the currency is being used at actual companies rather than just a startup, because then you're just you're just buying ether coins at this point.
So in case you guys didn't know, this is the Comic Books Podcast. Is this the main one? Main show we're doing?
Yes.
All right, cool. So this is the main CBC podcast. It's been a while. I'm actually kind of in the middle of a few things, so I'm kind of falling behind on stuff just because of personal reasons and family things, but that's not for neither here nor there. You guys can actually find me on Twitter and Instagram on @Armeenies, and obviously the CBC at Comic Book Cast. And then you guys can also find Mitch.
What's up? You can follow me at Mix692, because that is the way.
Jesus Christ. And also you can find Tristan.
Do you know the way? And you can find me at Control Breakers.
Okay, so let me ask you a thing about that. So I didn't know what it was. All I did was see it explode everywhere overnight over my Twitter and Facebook. So Mitch sent me like a 15-minute video that I had to watch. So I watched it. I still don't get what it is because I'm too stupid to understand internet sensations.
It's just so funny.
It was quite something to watch. I was like, is this what the kids watch these days? Is this why I don't understand anymore?
It exploded because of VR chats.
Yeah. They've literally, VR chat had the 3D model from the little Knuckles, and they're taking it down now. Because, like, people were just raiding every room. And it's just like, oh, okay, we're going to have to put a stop to this now. But...
It was pretty entertaining, I will say that.
It did, because it went from, like, a Ugandan Knuckles to a Scottish Knuckles to a Russian Knuckles.
Oh, God. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So, like I said, this is the main CBC show, so let's get to the topics at hand. First up, after rumors of almost a decade, Black Widow is finally getting a standalone movie that's in development.
Woo!
I mean, it's been in development since, like, 2010.
Yeah, but now it's going somewhere, so, yeah.
I mean, you could tell it was going somewhere with all the toys that weren't selling.
Yeah.
That's because they didn't make any.
Yeah, they did. It's still all the time, but no one bought them.
Made like one.
So here's the thing. Ike Perlmutter, that a guy that used to be in charge of, Disney and everything, the big old naysayer of the MCU, he's the one that delayed female-led things in the MCU. And he's the one that said nobody would buy Black Widow. So I actually, when I talked about this probably like 2 years ago on a podcast, I talked to one of my guys who was in the toy industry. And what he said was, for every one crate of action figures that you ordered for like Age of Ultron, right? There was only like they would pack in like 2 or 3 Black Widows per 10 of everybody else. So that was the case. So when you would order it, if you wanted more Black Widows, you'd have to order everything else. So a lot of people didn't stock the shelves because, well, what's the point, right? You're going to have an abundance of everything else. So it was a murky situation. But I'm glad the Black Widow movie's happening because I know there's quite many people that actually want it to happen. So,
Well, you wouldn't get that from Twitter yesterday. No.
I mean, I don't necessarily need this or like a Hawkeye or like a Shield film. I mean, I'm probably going to enjoy it when I see it, and I guarantee they're going to put a good spin on it. But just off the top of my head, I'm just like,
Well, like, here's the thing. It came out yesterday as well. I don't know how true it is. I imagine it's probably true. But, like, it's going to have key plot points from Avengers 4.
Oh.
So,
yeah.
it's obviously going to, like, matter to some extent. But what that is, whether it could be Secret Invasion, I don't know. She finds out there's a scroll, do that.
Yeah, I would be down for that, honestly. Like, the whole thing is when it comes to this whole, I guess, future of the MCU. So when you're really thinking about the direction of it, they said it's going to be different than what we've previously gotten. Black Widow sure as hell screams different to me. It's like, oh, look, it's different. And not everything's going to be cosmic like you thought. That's cool and all, but to me it's like, I'm at that point where I literally want them to just be like, hey, forget all these old characters. Here's the new ones, right? Here's all of these new characters. Enjoy these characters that you've never seen before, like Nova or Silver Surfer or whoever. Which, granted, we're still going to get these, but to me it's like, I'd rather take these newer characters that we've never seen before over characters that we've seen in other franchises. Like, I don't want another Hulk movie, even though I love the Hulk, you know? It's like...
I mean, why not have both? Like, there's clearly a market for a Black Widow.
Yeah, oh, of course there
Otherwise,
is.
they wouldn't do one, but, you know.
Yeah.
Like, why not?
Yeah, it's just me being like, nah, just give me the new stuff, which, you know, that's what it really comes down to, which, like I said, I'm pretty sure I'm going to enjoy the Black Widow movie when it comes out because it'll probably be great, just like most of their other films, but what do you guys want from this? Because do you think it's going to be like a giant team-up movie or something again? Like, do you think it's her, maybe Hawkeye, her, like, Mockingbird or something, like something, because I don't feel like it's going to be a standalone.
I think it will just be a standalone. I think that's how a Black Widow movie should work. No, Scarlet brings in money. No.
Yeah.
Yes, it was like 4 or 5 years ago at this point, but you know, Lucy made like 500 million.
Yeah.
Like, why would you not just give it a low budget and then rake in everything? No.
True, and maybe this could be part of that whole like start slower movies that are lower budget at the same time, like you said, because there's no reason a Black Widow movie should cost over $100 million. There is no reason. Like 50, 60 at most. Like, come on.
Like, it's also a good chance to test the waters for an R-rated movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just make it not like Deadpool, but do what they did with Deadpool. Like, give it 50 mil, make it R-rated, go along with it.
And maybe also set this in their, like, new... What they call, like, a new branding that Disney's going to have for the R-rated films or whatever? New imprint of Marvel? I don't know. Like, maybe bring back Marvel Knights?
That's if they do a new imprint on that, but...
Yeah, true.
You know, you could start that off with it. Like...
So, when do you realistically see this movie coming out?
I don't know. Probably 2021, maybe. Something like that. I don't think it'll be 2020.
I'm honestly... I feel like it's going to happen before we see the Fantastic Four or the X-Men, just because it's a character they're already working on. Like, they know it's their own character, so...
I mean, yeah, you would have, that deal will be finalized
like 2000... next year. Yeah, like, I think it was like 12 to 16 months. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, so, you know, you can't start work on it until then. So it'll be then 2 years. That'd be like 2022 by the time you get those lot. So...
Yep. Yeah, so
I don't like if it doesn't come first, I'll be surprised.
Yeah, same. I absolutely agree with that. Like, it has to come out first before any of this because the nature of the character and that the fact that they're already working on a script, so they're already steps ahead of the other stuff. So
plus, you know, like if you make it a key point to everything else going forward, then it's gonna have to come out first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. So yeah, Black Widow. I'm pretty sure we'll talk about this much more in the future. Probably this summer during San Diego or something, but we'll get to that when we get to it. So 12 to 16 months before Disney can own Fox, so Fox has to continue operating per pretty much basis to how they've been operating, because if the deal doesn't go through, then they can't be stuck with nothing in development. So we learned this past week that Tim Miller, director of Deadpool, or Deadpool 1 I should say, is back at it with Fox developing Kitty Pryde.
I mean, why?
Who asked for this?
So, first, like, Black Widow, I understand. Because it's Black Widow. There's a larger universe there and everything. A standalone Kitty Pryde movie that might not connect to anything else is literally, like, a waste of time and money, in my opinion. And also, if you're working on it, but it's probably not going to connect to the MCU, and I'd be shocked if it does. So,
Oh no, nothing they're doing now.
yeah, it's
There's
like
no
a
way.
pointless film. It is literally pointless film to film. I do not get what the mentality between, like,
I mean, I suppose it is literally just a case of, as you said, like, if the deal doesn't go through, they have something to fall back on.
ugh.
Like, they have a plan. They're not going to be sitting there like headless chickens, being like, well, what do we do now? It's like, no, you have a clear plan to go forward.
But
But I imagine they have to kind of like keep their stocks up. Otherwise, Disney can go, well, actually, your stocks have dropped. We want cheaper now.
right.
But,
And it's also this weird situation that it's like, so let's say they develop this movie. Let's say Tim Miller and co. start producing this movie in October, right? They go into shooting the movie. And they're going to shoot for 4 or 5 months. The deal is finalized when the film has to go into reshoots. So then Disney is forced to put out this movie anyway, that they're going to inevitably scrap the entire universe.
I mean, it's, if it does happen that quickly, it'd be no different to like Gambit, like New Mutants 2, Deadpool 3. Like, they're still gonna have to make these movies.
Yeah. It's such a weird situation because already the consensus I see online from everybody relating to everything X-Men besides Deadpool is, we don't care, give us the new reboot. So continuing to funnel more funds and more movies into that universe, which people are already abandoning, to us is so weird, right? And I'm wondering if this is going to have that adverse effect of people turning against it, because I know people are already going to turn against what's that movie coming out for X-Men end of the year? God damn it, the terrible looking one. I can't remember its name for the life of me right now.
When's it coming out?
The one in December with the stupid sequel to Apocalypse.
Dark Phoenix.
That's the one. Yeah, Dark Phoenix. Like, people are already turning against that movie, and there's nothing out.
I mean, it's like, is that just Twitter or is that the larger
So
general audience as a whole?
I've talked about how I like to gauge my friends who are just sort of casuals when it comes to this stuff. Even they understand that this movie is not part now, and they're just like, I'm not seeing this till it's in the Marvel universe. I'm just like, all right. Like, they've made up their mind. And like, I'm talking about some people that genuinely actually enjoyed a couple of the last movies, and even they're like, yeah, I'm pretty much done with this franchise. Like, they watched it because it was there, but now that they know it's going to be done properly, more or less, they're just like, man, I'm done. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, it's interesting how it's changing.
I think, like, the box office for Phoenix will be telling.
Oh, it's going to be terrible.
Like, if it does just completely bomb, then...
Oh.
But then is that just a case of the main X-Line movies people don't care about? Will they still go see the other ones? Like, who knows?
That's true. It could go either way, really. And when you really look at it, I'm literally like, so what's Fox developing? They got Multiple Man, Gambit.
That's not happening. That's not going to happen.
Oh, not anymore. Not anymore.
Not with Franco. No way.
Nope.
That's done. They got Gambit, New Mutants, Cable, X-Force, Deadpool 3. Yeah, you got about 5 movies on the go.
Yeah. Dark Phoenix Part 2.
Yeah, that won't happen.
Yeah, that won't happen.
Am I missing one? I can't remember.
I mean, contractual obligations say that the Young X-Men still have one more movie left over, so if that's going to be fulfilled, depending on how long the deal takes, we could suffer another X-Men movie.
That's true. I mean, you could just dump those in like an X-Force movie.
I wish.
Just like, have them as background characters. Be like, there you go, that's your contract's done.
Yeah, that'd be nice. So, alright, so let me ask you guys. where do you want these movies to go since they have to happen? What do you want out of them?
I don't know what I'd want out of a Kitty Pryde movie.
I don't know enough of the character, so I really don't know what I would want outside of like what Bendis does to her and what he did do to her in like the comics, where she was his favorite character for some reason. I didn't even know why.
Yeah, because he can write romance over and over.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I think you could make an interesting Kitty Pryde movie.
I think
I just
you
don't
could,
know
too.
what you do.
Yeah.
But you're not going to get Ellen Page back. That's done.
No.
But...
I believe in what Kevin Feige said, that there is no such thing as a B-list character to him. They're all A-list, they just haven't had their chance. I wholeheartedly believe that you can make most of these characters work in some sort of fashion and make them, included into the universe and make them good. But it's a movie, how do you market that? Sure, Wolverine standalone movies. Okay, Deadpool, sure. Gambit, okay, he's popular, but Kitty Pryde is really? I don't know anybody who's man, I've been waiting for that Kitty Pryde movie. It's...
No.
Yeah.
I mean, you just called it Shadowcat, didn't you?
Yeah.
You try and market it that way.
Marvel's Shadowcat. I guess. Maybe you could tie that in with Silver and Black. Ugh. Disgusting. How's that?
That's apparently moving forward now, so...
God forbid. Damn. Well, I guess that ends our Fox is Developing Nonsense segment. Thank the Lords. Have you guys heard the big news? The DCEU is now called the DCU. Not only that, it's gotten a major shakeup in the form of pretty much everybody's been reshuffled and repositioned into how they're going to handle this now. What I found the most interesting thing is the fact that the new guy that's going to be overseeing everything, the new guy, Toby Emmerich, he just gave a quote about how he's going to be kind of overseeing everything. And in this quote, he says, and I'll just read it right here, "We cannot do what Disney's done. It's really worked for them, but it's not who we are." That's his opening quote once he got the job to the presses.
So they're saying they can't plan,
No, that's not what he's saying at all.
He's kind of coming out and saying that, it's sort of admitting defeat that you can't keep up with Disney, and you can't because they have a studio for Marvel, right?
I don't think he's admitting anything. I think he's just kind of going, what works for one doesn't always work for everyone else. They have to do a different approach.
Yeah. Well,
yes, they tried and it didn't work out, but I don't think he's sitting there going, "Oh yeah, we failed."
Well, what I also find interesting is when you read the whole quote, he talks about how Warner Brothers used to be this diverse place where you would produce a ton of movies, not just comic book movies. And obviously, when you look at their history before Man of Steel, let's say, right? They were producing The Dark Knight. And that was one comic book movie that they sort of threw out there every 2.5, 3 years with a lot of love and care put behind it. And when they tried to do the Marvel thing, put out a movie or two a year, they weren't keeping up because, remember, this is still Warner Brothers. It's taking part out of their maximum slate of movies per year because they don't have that dedicated studio on it. And I think what he's saying from this quote is, we can't have the same output as them because we have a diverse catalog of movies. They do action movies, comedies, superhero movies. They're a studio that puts out all genres, where Marvel Studios puts out a comic book movie 3 to 4 times a year by the look of it soon, but they're based in different genres. So it's a different type of...
Well, that's the thing, though. They're different studios.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not Disney's just putting out one type of movie. It's Marvel's putting out one type of movie. Every problem Warner Bros. Has had with these movies would be solved with a DC Studios.
Yep.
Just make a little subsection of Warner Brothers, give them some money, let them do their thing.
And that's the big problem because from what we understand now, it's Jeff Johns is not directly involved anymore because he's still being punished for Justice League because he was a big guy on that. So he's kind of taking a backseat now. The new guy that's coming in from New Line is more or less going to run the shots. Kevin Tujihara, the previous dude,
he's going to be out.
Yeah, he is just... He's going to take all the blame, really, for hiring Snyder and everything. So it seems like Warner Brothers is once again in a big reinvention. And the main blame for it is generally the DC extended universe, because they put their big focus the last 5 years on that, and it hasn't paid off. If you look at Warner Brothers year over year, their movie aggregate scores have been brought down, and when you look at why, it's all the DC films, and they don't want that. You know, they, like, you might not understand, but studios pride themselves on these movies getting good scores, reviews, and because they get bonuses for these type of things, you know? Like,
yeah.
And Justice League is a negative for them. So it's an interesting time at Warner Brothers, and I hope at some point, maybe with this new guy, they're going to kind of take that new approach and be like, look, we need to devote like only like one movie a year to DC and do it right, because you shouldn't try to keep up with Disney, because not many people can. That's just the reality of the industry, you know?
Yeah, or I mean, they could if they just literally split it up, but you know, they're essentially got to do what Fox is doing.
Yep.
Like, you can maybe squeeze 2 out a year,
Yeah.
but you're never going to keep up with the amount that they put out, because it's an entire studio dedicated to it. You know, they don't want to do that. That's fair enough. What I want to know is, does this mean that they're going to completely stop the idea of a shared universe, or they're just going to take it slower?
Honestly,
hopefully they take it slower is what I think they should do, because they can't pump it out at the same rate as Marvel can.
yeah. To me, it's weird, because if you want a shared universe, you have to keep the pace up to keep people interested, and the turnaround time of these characters showing up has to be somewhat rapid, right? Like,
See, I don't know if you have to have like a quick, like, pump them out every 3 months.
well, okay, I don't mean that. I mean, like, for example, Superman. Let's use him for an example, or Batman. A Batman movie in a shared universe, Batman cannot show up every 3 years, right? We see how Marvel does it, where it's like characters show up in each other's movies and things are mentioned, and there's this shared universe feeling, and like Captain America 3 was another Avengers movie, and Spider-Man had, you know, Tony Stark in it. So these characters are always in the background or showing up. If you take the Star Trek approach, where there's a new Star Trek movie every 3.5 years, nobody cares anymore because they've forgotten, because, you know, people just want the movie now. That's how the industry's moving, you know? So it's like, like the Batman movie is estimated release date, according to what we know now, since Matt Reeves just now started working on a draft, it's probably, 2021 at the earliest?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's going to be how long between Batman shows up again? That's ridiculous, you know? It's,
I mean, at least if they're like, you just, you know, you take your time with it.
yeah.
I don't know. It's in a weird spot.
It,
Like, but actually no, because Batman's going to be in Flash, unless, depending if Flashpoint comes out between now and then.
true.
Like, I imagine they're going to put him in somewhere. You know, you got Aquaman coming out. What is it? Is it this year it comes out?
Yeah, end of the year, December.
Yeah. So, you know, at least you have that. You got Wonder Woman 2 that will come out before, like, between now and then as well.
Yeah, and then you got Wonder Woman 2 is December of 2019. So they got 2 movies in the next 2 years.
Yeah. You know, you got Suicide Squad 2 start, so you could put Batman back in there again. You could put anyone in there, really.
Mm-hmm.
You can. There's ways they can do it, but
I mean,
they need a direction.
Yeah.
That's all they like.
And like Shazam gives me hope. People keep forgetting Shazam exists, but
Also, let's realize that the slate they put out the other day is now bollocks.
wait, which slate is that? The one from like a couple weeks ago?
One with Justice League Dark on it, and everything.
What?
It's just like, well, that's not going to happen now, is it? Like, well, it's not going to happen how people imagine it's going to happen. I don't know. You just need to. I don't know. Just put your head down and work on it. Right? Stop trying to rush it.
Yeah, I think they need to take their time. 2 movies a year, I think they can do, or maybe not. Maybe they could do 1 movie every 8 to 9 months. I think would be good. So you get that weird like 3 movies in 2 years type of ratio, where I think that could work. But the problem is, they need to get these movies under people who quite clearly care and stop listening to the one guy who doesn't. Because there's a report out there that said the Warner Brothers guy that was in charge of like marketing the movies and stuff, he didn't even like superhero movies.
And you can kind of see that with Justice League marketing, because there wasn't any.
Yeah, what? Like, how Why was that guy even given that job? The moment you asked him, it's okay, you like these things? No, get out of here. We'll replace you with
Well, I
someone.
mean, I imagine he had the job before.
God.
It's just like all the films go through the same marketing department. I imagine he was there. But like, that's one good thing about this new guy. Like, he's not old.
Mm-hmm.
He's a younger guy, so you might be a bit more in touch with the kids. You might know the way. But,
He was the only one that was free at the time.
I mean, probably. But you know, I don't know. They just got to sort themselves out.
Yeah, we'll figure stuff out soon enough. I mean, we'll be talking about news with DC at least pretty frequently, I assume, in the next couple months, because hearing a couple weird things are happening behind the scenes. So once those hit, we'll talk about that.
This Comic-Con this year is going to be huge for them.
Oh, yeah.
You need to do
Yes, they do.
just come out and be clear with everyone.
Yep. Just give us a slate that's going to be invalid within 3 weeks again.
But don't even give us a slate. I'd be well pissed off if they just gave us another slate. Like, here's movies we're not going to do, but you'll get a reaction.
Yeah.
It'll make a headline for a week, and then we'll give you another one.
Well, apparently Green Lantern's still happening according to Goyer.
I mean, we knew that anyway because it was on the slate.
Yeah, sure.
Like, thanks, Goyer. Thanks for the update.
Yeah, we'll find out soon enough, I guess. So, yeah. Well, Black Panther is around the corner, and all indications point to the movie is definitely going to make more money than Justice League in its box office opening weekend, which, okay, so we always get back to...
I mean, how much did Justice League make in its opening weekend?
96 million.
I mean, that's the same as what Panther's tracking it.
It's going to make more, I have a feeling.
I mean, I imagine it'll probably crack that 100, but...
Once those reviews hit, and I think they're going to be super overwhelming, I think you're going to see that movie like crack 110, 115. Like, it's going to be a big movie, regardless.
150? No way. No
chance.
chance.
115, excuse me, 115. No, not 115, never mind.
There's no way now a first like outing on a solo unknown character is going to crack 150.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's going to make more than a Civil War. No.
Yeah, I know.
It'll crack 100, but I don't think about 150. That's a little too much.
Yeah.
Like, but I think over 130 is too much. Like, I could be completely wrong with that. Like, but...
I mean, the thing is, when it comes to these comic book movies, and we've talked about this on the podcast before when we predict our numbers, you never know what can happen. Like, it can always sink way lower or way higher, and you never understand with what the mentality is going to be. You never understand the power of the crowd and how much a movie has impact. So
Justice League opening domestic was 95 million.
Yeah. I think, like, if anything, it might get exactly that. Like, if it's on, like, because how often is tracking ridiculously far off?
Yeah.
Like, and yes, I know it's beating like Civil War and pre-order sales, but that doesn't really mean anything.
True.
Like, how many people pre-order stuff? I don't.
I mean, because they can cancel at any time. So.
I mean, there is that as well. But I don't know. I think it's going to do well, and 95 million for a first movie, like, isn't bad, especially for an unknown character like Black Panther. Yes, we saw him in Civil War, but we don't know fuck all about the character.
Yeah. The way I look at it is, this is a character that so many people have wanted, to see on the big screen. So when you think of it that way, there's so much hype regarding it that I think people will go into this movie just out of pure wonder and anticipation because of how big it actually is. And when you look at something like Doctor Strange, right, which opened up, a year ago and a couple months?
And that opened up to about 90 million as well.
Yeah, that did, I believe it was 85, maybe 86. It was something around there.
Yeah, it was around the mark.
Yeah, that's pretty big for Doctor Strange, but I think Black Panther has a bigger fan base.
But I think the fan base, I think you kind of got like discount now, because you talking about just comic book fan base?
I'm talking about just the fan base it's going to have built in because of who the character is and what he represents. I think is way bigger than Doctor Strange could ever hope for. Like, that's the way I'm going into this. Because
I think like Army means like Black Panther is more well known than Doctor Strange.
Yeah, and it's
I'd argue that one.
And it's kind of like the demographic you're looking at, because remember, nobody expected the Fast and Furious movies after 5 to be as big as they were, but then the Latin crowd freaking, like, that movie just destroyed it in those countries. They're like, wow, we didn't even expect that. I think there's a lot of cultural impact with Black Panther that people are looking forward to that, and it's representative. Because I sure as know a bunch of my friends that are like, no, this is like the character I've looked up to as a kid, and they're telling all of their friends to go see it. So I feel just because of that, it's going to get that push of people being like, no, this is important movie in that regard. Like Wonder Woman had that because it's like, look, it's the first good female-led superhero movie. Go see it.
Let's look at Wonder Woman. How much did that make opening weekend?
Let me look that up.
If we're going to compare it to Wonder Woman and actually go, it's just just as big.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think you'll find it didn't make much more than 100 and.
So 103 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, even then, like, that's not me being down on it. That's a good fucking amount to get on a first outing.
Holy God, it's insane.
Just being realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's people expecting to make $1 billion as well. It's like I doubt.
No. I'm sorry, guys, but not happening.
Like I'd give it 700 to 800 tops. I reckon like it's gonna have legs.
Yeah.
Just because of who he is and what he is. Like.
Yep.
It will have legs. Opening weekend, no. If it breaks 110, I'll be surprised.
Yeah, I'm going still for 110, 115 opening weekend. I think it can do it. I think it has the power to do it. I think good word of mouth and reviews are going to propel this movie past what people are expecting. And
it's like about probably 105, 110.
Yeah. It doesn't help as well that like you look at Black Twitter. They are divided. Like,
what is it because
people are
Michael B. Jordan is dating
Panther.
a white girl?
I mean, that was one of it. Like,
my God!
Really a controversy. Like people tried to make it and never took off. But like on one half they're hating it, and the other half they're not. And it's just like, is this going to play into it, or is that just a little like a?
It might not, because it's really just sometimes it's just really weird things that they nitpick at. It was for that Michael B. Jordan dating white girl to. Is the soundtrack going to be consisted of mainly rap music? Because I don't want that.
Yeah, like I can understand where they're coming from, but at the same time, it's like it's Black Panther. Like it looks really fucking good.
Yeah.
Like shush, but
I mean, for me, it's like the movie. Yeah, like you said, there's like this divide and everything. But then again, it's always that bubble you have to look at, and then you have to look at the general consensus, and it's always a discrepancy because a bubble is a bubble, and outside of it, there's so much more. So I definitely, like, Black Panther's going to make money. We know that. The movie has a lot of hype going into it, and there's a lot of anticipation. It's all down to the reviews now, and I believe that this movie is going to be one of the highest rated Marvel movies ever. Maybe I'm wrong, but to me, it looks like it will be. So I think that can propel it.
Is it going to have the Wonder Woman thing? And it's like, oh, it's a woman. It has to be high rated. Or is it going to get there on merit?
See,
like I'm imagining like it's Ryan Coogler. I doubt it's going to like not get there on merit. But like,
see, I'm glad you brought that up and not me, because I was trying to avoid that. Because can we be real for a second? Wonder Woman is a good movie, but it's not a 10 out of 10, guys. And like, the villain is trash. The CG is trash. Some of the acting is god-awful. But, like, it gets that boost because, like, oh, it's Wonder Woman. It's like, can we grade the movies as movies?
I don't know. I'm, like, divided because of what Mitch said about Black Twitter, because they can be really divisive with what they want. That's the one thing I'm trying to figure that out.
And I said Black Twitter, and I'm like, can I say that? Because I'm whiter than white.
Well, you have to, because Black Twitter is a thing, and people will just automatically think about Twitter.
Yeah, no, that's kind of like why I said it now. I was like, can I actually say that? And it's like, it's too late now. I've said it. No.
Well, Black Twitter is a thing, so.
Yeah. But so that's no, like, is it going to get that same reception? I don't know.
I think.
Well, probably. That's what I'm saying. I don't know, because I think like some of the black writers were getting really, really like finicky and trying to nitpick at what Coates is doing for Black Panther, the comic book right now.
Yeah, but Coates is a very divisive character.
Yeah.
His politics are like huge. It's like.
Yeah, I feel like it's not going to have as much of the Wonder Woman effect, because the Wonder Woman effect is if you hate it, you're sexist, according to many people, whenever I criticize the movie, so...
But couldn't you get, like, you hate it, you're racist?
Of course,
Oh, no, you already got that when the trailer dropped.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, we'll talk about Black Panther. Obviously, it's coming out in just about a month from now, so...
Oh, well, kudos to Marvel and Disney for, like, releasing it during Black History Month, so...
Yeah, that too.
They're doing a lot of stuff like that. You know, the Jessica Jones they're releasing on International Women's Day, which is a Thursday, so that's different for Netflix.
And then Captain Marvel also next year, so yeah.
Comes out the same. Yeah, so it's like
good idea. It's a good idea. Yeah, it's good marketing. It's good synergy. You know, it's free advertising, so why not? So, Avengers 4 is wrapping up shooting. Who's hyped to see more from this movie?
I mean, I haven't really seen anything from this movie.
Yeah, it's with tons of leaked photos, and that's it.
Yeah. I mean, just leaked photos, but you don't really know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can get an idea of what's going on. It's just kind of figuring out exactly what they're doing.
This is like the one movie where every time set photos come out, it raises more questions than we ever had before, and like, it's kind of amazing considering what we're seeing. It's like, oh look, they're wearing their original Avengers suits. Hey, look, now they look like those characters. Hey, look, now like there's a shield badge here. Hey, now this character looks different. It's like, what is even happening? Like, time travel, alternate universes, flashbacks.
I mean, like clearly in the ones that came out this week, it's a different it's a different reality.
It's gotta be.
Like, why would Tony Stark be blonde in a shield uniform? And like the bronzed walnut tan. No, that didn't happen in that, so it can't be unless something in history has been changed.
Yeah,
it's not going to be.
You know what I want for it? It's probably like you said, alternate universe, and they're going to go to it. I would love it if we see Tony and he calls his first in command, and it's Coulson.
Like, yeah, but that's never going to happen.
I don't know. It might just because like because they're all shooting in Atlanta.
Coulson's dead. Coulson's dead in those movies.
In all the multiverses, though.
Yeah. Nah. They're not going to bring it.
I feel like all they need to do is to kill Prime Coulson. There you go.
There's just one Coulson. He's a constant throughout the multiverse.
He dies in all of them.
Spoilers. He's the living tribunal. Infinity War spoilers. That's what's going to happen. But no, he's not going to come back. You know, he's not even going to be in Captain Marvel.
Yeah, true.
But you know, it's just kind of like, how does this fit in with Infinity War? That's not helping anything. Like, we haven't even seen the movie prior to this. And how can we figure it out?
That's the thing. Like, when I look at the set photos for Avengers 4, it just makes me wonder, what in the world is the ending of Infinity War? Like, what even happens? Is Thanos just literally going to have all the stones at the end of it, and he, like, punches, I don't know, like, the Earth, and everything suddenly ripples into an alternate dimension? Like, what is happening in this? Like,
well, they say it's a heist movie, so I imagine they're going to get the glove away from it. Because it has to end for a down period for Ant-Man and Wasp to happen. So it's got to be its own thing, and they have to win at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not going to die, and he's going to come back. Well,
yeah.
No, unless he does die in Avengers 4 is disassembled.
Secret Wars, man. It's going to be Secret Wars.
Because my like, just throwing shit out there on Twitter yesterday, like, my idea was, what if, like, they realise they can't beat them, they can't beat Thanos on their own, so they go to different multiverses to get themselves. And, like, the end of Avengers 4 is just, like, 12 teams of Avengers all going with that.
Now, which reality do you belong in? I'm trying to figure out how to put them back.
And people are like, well, why not just have infinite? And it's like, well, we just put a time limit on it. No, we've only got 3 hours to get everyone. No.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be something if the movie's like running in real time? Oh, that would be like, that'd be intense. That'd be some crazy. Oh, honestly, I would kind of enjoy that, but
bring in the old 24 clock.
I was actually just thinking that
the countdown clock.
Yeah.
Kiefer Sutherland's gonna show up as an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. He shows up as the alternate white version of Nick Fury. Oh.
I mean,
I would mark the hell out for that. I would like be squealing in the theater.
Make him the unseen on the moon as well.
Oh, that'd be awesome. It's so cool. So with everything happening with Avengers 4, and we know that they said we're not learning what the movie's called till after Infinity War. They're probably going to announce it at D23 or San Diego Comic-Con. Realistically, what do you think?
Is D23 this year?
Wait, oh no, they do it the off
Usually
It
years.
was last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, they do the off
And
years.
like some people have the idea that they're gonna do like the old Cap One thing and have the trailer at the end. I doubt you
No.
can do that in this day and age
Nope.
now. That's 10 years ago. Like it's kind of
It would leak before it ever makes it out there, so that's not going to
Exactly.
happen.
Exactly. So like I imagine San Diego is when we get the first look in the name of the
Yeah.
movie. So it's literally a month afterwards. So why wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, the thing is, they've even stated, multiple people have, if we tell you the title, it's a spoiler for Infinity War.
yeah, it's got to be something like Disassembled. It has to be. So I don't think it is honestly Gauntlet like what's the name Zaldana was saying.
No, I don't think that either, no.
No, that's not really much of a spoiler.
Yeah.
But if it is something like Disassembled, it literally. But then again, we've seen them look at Disassembled, so we know they're already using that. Is that much of a spoiler? Like, if they're not going to tell us the name, well, just show us that you're looking at that book. So I really don't know. Unless if you go the whole thing of, oh, they're doing the multiverse and Ant-Man and Wasp for Avengers to have the multiverse, they're doing the Skrulls and Captain Marvel to bring the Skrulls in. Unless it's going to be that case, I don't know. But it's got to be something.
I mean, we all know it's going to be called Avengers Kang Dynasty. That's...
Can they use Kang?
Not yet, but they will!
You're just going to reshoot the entire movie in like 3 months.
They're going to Han Solo it, except every time Thanos shows up, they put a shitty, like, pasted version of Kang.
We'll
Kang.
never see a trailer for it then. You say.
Yeah, that's how it's going to be. It's a
Movie's
stealth release.
It's just going to come out. Straight to the...
It's going to be Dark Phoenix, like, where you look at the images, you're like, this is clearly Photoshop. You didn't even try.
Oh.
They put a crappy wig on Thanos.
I mean, why not?
He
That's
needs
a good
golden locks floating in the air. That'd be amazing.
That's a good Photoshop now.
I don't know, but like, I'm really hyped for Avengers 4. We haven't even seen Avengers 3. This is how Hollywood works these days, folks.
Well, it's how Marvel works. Like, see, this is their problem, and it's a problem I have. Like, there's too much at once at the minute.
Yeah.
It's like, can we kind of do one? Like, yes, I get they've done this differently because they filmed two at the same time, but like, can we not do this again?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, now I get this. D23 is biannually, but they do it one in the States and one in Japan. This year is Japan, and it's in February.
So
The
they're
next one
definitely
is...
not announcing it in Japan.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know because Chadwick Boseman didn't he get like a most popular actor or most popular American actor over in Japan? It could possibly.
Yeah, because I'm
that
looking it up right now, and it says the next one for the States is 2019. And I know that too. I think
So-
like next month it's in Japan.
Being realistic, the one in 2019 then, that's after Infinity War, and it's right on the heels of Spider-Man 2, that's when they're going to announce the future of the phases. Like, that's when they're going to be like, hey guys, Fantastic Four release date, here it is, here's X-Men, like, you know, that's so... They're definitely not going to, I don't think, announce anything before then. Like, San Diego, they'll announce this year, they'll announce the title of Avengers 4, but other than that, I don't think they announced too much else this year, so... And
No,
they should.
you'll get a look at Captain Marvel and that's it.
Yep.
That'd be literally it. It'd be a very tone. It'd be weird 'cause it's like you've only got two things, so it'd be kind of like a low profile one, but at the same time it's like going to be huge because of Infinity War. Like,
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
what are they going to do? But,
Well, I assume they're also going to announce, like, hey, the main villain for Spider-Man, because they start shooting, like, 2 weeks before San Diego Comic-Con. They'll probably announce who the main villain is officially and release some sort of, like, you know, art poster that they do every year or something. Like,
but what if that's a spoiler for Avengers 4?
oh, crap, it will be, yeah.
That's literally their excuse for everything now. So we're not going to talk about it because it's a spoiler.
Yeah.
Everything's mosaic except for the characters.
Hold on. You used to talking about the actual Mosaic, the character?
Yes, he's going to be in this.
You'll get your first Inhuman, but we're going to make him a mutant now.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's that. That's our Avengers talk. Well, we finally get to talk about Venom and the IGN first look at the Venom reveal, which shows us Tom Hardy in his street clothes.
He looks exactly like Tom Hardy.
I was so surprised when people went to my video. I was like, guys, do not get hyped. There is nothing that's going to be revealed that's actually showing you Venom. And people were like, dude, you're wrong. And then it comes out. I was like, I told you. They have nothing to show us yet. Like, there was...
You cannot stop the hype beast.
It's... Like, don't get me wrong. It's my second most anticipated like comic book movie of the year, just because I want to know what the hell it's going to be like. Like, it's like my Han Solo. I want to see the burning train wreck before me, and I'm intrigued by the everything that's going into it. See, the dog's even excited. Just, come on, dog. he knows the hype. He knows the hype.
Either that or pizza came.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know, like, Venom, for me, I really love that character. Especially in recent years, I've really gotten to enjoy the character in the comic books, so I want to see what this is.
Yeah, I mean, like, when I was younger, I liked Venom, but that's just because the 90s, you thought edgy,
I mean, that's
anti-heroes
the
were
Venom
cool.
they're going. You watch that CEX or whatever it is, the Brazilian footage.
Yep.
They're like, yeah, we're gonna get badass action. It's gonna be Disney man. It's just like, okay, I get all this is gonna be now. It's just gonna be crap.
Oh, you're killing my hype, Mitch.
I mean, there's nothing to be hyped about. They won't even tell you which Venom you're gonna get. It's like, oh, what Venom are we gonna get? We're doing Planet of the Symbiotes and Lethal Protector. That doesn't answer a thing. That just tells us what storyline you're doing. What Venom are we getting?
You get Space Venom.
Maybe.
I really feel like we're getting an amalgam of normal Venom, Eddie Brock, and Agent Venom. Like, they're going to merge the two into one. That's what it looks. Because he looks like he's military. Like, he's like a military reporter.
He looks like a journalist to me.
Yeah, that's...
So we get the regular Venom when he can't control the symbiote anymore at certain points in the movie.
I imagine they'll probably flick between the two.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They haven't told us, haven't shown us anything. So
they show us literally nothing with that first photo, and that's not even like what makes me like want to see it more. It's like the unknown of this movie, because they still keep tippy-toeing around. Well, it's not set in the MCU, but we won't tell you outright. And it's like,
I honestly think they're going to come out and say it is.
I think it is too, like 100%.
No, I don't see, if it isn't, why would you, unless it's just purely for PR and to get people talking about it, I don't see why you wouldn't.
You would think Disney would step in there, being like, hey, shut up. Like you can't connect, you can't openly say you're connected to our universe and tease it when you're literally not, because that could bring us down. Like, Fox would always do that with their X-Men movies, when people are like, so is there a chance? Like, no. And like, they're tippy-toeing around in such a weird way. And I honestly think, since he is a journalist, maybe this will be our first indicator of the Daily Bugle and like exists in the MCU, and like he's just off looking into his own thing. But setting Venom apart from Spider-Man is the dumbest thing you can do. You can't do that with the character, so just make him part of that universe. So like, it's such a confusing element, and I'm excited. I'm gonna keep saying it. I'm excited, and I'm cautiously optimistic, but mainly because I have to see what they're doing.
I'm just still struggling to come to terms with it's actually happening. It's just like, oh.
After 10 years in like limbo development, it's finally happening.
It's like, this is not the reality that I wanted. No.
Yeah.
Can I have another one?
But what if it, like, let's talk about a surprise, right? What if it comes out and it's good? Like, what if it's a good movie? Like,
I mean, if it's good, it's great. But like, show me something to make it like say it is going to be good. Because so far, it's in nothing. We have a logo and Tom Hardy. That's all we know.
Yeah. And we don't even know if that logo is representative of what the character is going to look like. That's the thing. Like,
we don't even know if that's going to be the title, like the actual type font of everything.
Yeah.
We haven't even got that. Like, where's the title card for this movie?
Yeah. It's an interesting time for Sony, because their profits are up on PlayStation. The movie division was literally saved by Spider-Man. And now they're trying to bank on that by making Silver and Black and Venom and whatever else. And you hear about their shared universe, and like, the actor, as far as I know, last time, the actor who played Scorpion in Homecoming, did not go back on saying, oh yeah, I'm going to be part of the Silver and Black as Scorpion. So like, it's such a confusing element of Spider-Man. Like, I don't even get what's happening with it, you know?
Here's the thing: we'll only know for sure where it is when it has the Marvel Studios logo in front of it. If it's got anything but, it's not in the MCU.
Yeah. True.
Simple as that. But
yeah, that's true. I mean, from what I understand, from what I've been told, we're not getting a teaser till Infinity War. That's what I've been told by the same person that provided me tons of things that I've talked about before that have been confirmed by people in relation to Spider-Man things. So I'm willing to trust them.
That's 3 months. It's not that far.
Yeah. You're going to get it when Infinity War. October 5th.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah, so we're going to have to wait a little bit, and all I hope is that it's a good movie. I just want a good Venom movie. Make Venom a interesting character, which I know it's hard, and that takes a lot of effort, but you can do it, probably. I'm not sure. Well, that was a vote of confidence. That's
Put that on the poster.
Yeah.
I think you can make it interesting.
I vote for a vote of no confidence on Chancellor Valorum. This stupid Star Wars. Yeah, so Venom, hype. That brought us to the end of the show, guys. That was a good podcast. I think the fans are going to enjoy that one.
Hopefully.
I wonder who's listened this far and they're still listening to this going, man, that was a bunch of BS.
I'd imagine like 3 people.
Man, that retention rate, 3 people have made it this far, and that one dude actually fell asleep because he's just like, you know, he's so high he couldn't handle himself, so he passed out.
I was going to say, I wonder how many people just like left it on and did something else.
I mean, you do get that some of those people were saying they just put it on as background noise, so.
I mean, that works for me.
I mean, our podcast...
I do the same thing.
Our podcast is kind of like the CW DC shows. Well, you put them on in the background, and it's just a bunch of nonsense, and you don't really care what's happening. But at the end, you're like, hey, look, it's the same thing every week. Huh, I never noticed. Oh, well, go back to it.
Well, you only pay attention to the trigger words.
And then you write a nasty comment without listening to the rest of the argument. Wow, that's
and
YouTube.
Tristan's our Felicity.
Oh, this is good. So, speaking of all the comic book shows, I just want to kind of quickly bring it on here. Everybody watched The Runaways?
Yes, I finished the other day.
Man, they go balls deep into comic book territory there at the end.
Well, that's if they... I don't know. I don't know. You don't actually know what it is.
So
I imagine they're going to do it, but...
I imagine the giant elephant person is going to be under Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, why else would you not hide it? But, I just want Cloak and Dagger. Like, can I get anything for that, please?
Yeah. And New Warriors. Where are these shows? They're like vaporware for video games. Jesus, guys, put them out.
Like, apparently, Cloak and Dagger's still on the same original, like, release date they have. But I can't find that release date anywhere.
I thought it was like mid-March.
Well, they said winter 2018 in the trailer. Or whenever before. Which, that ends, like, mid to late March, but...
And, like, they finished shooting the entire first season. So... they're just sitting on it. Like, what the hell? And speaking of that, we now know that Marvel isn't greenlighting any new shows for ABC, largely thanks to Inhumans.
Yeah, but everyone's going like, oh, that means no more Inhumans, no more S.H.I.E.L.D. It's like, no, he said new shows.
Yeah,
They're not
shows.
ordering any more pilots. They're going to concentrate on what they have.
Yep.
Like, they haven't even outright said they're going to cancel Inhumans, which I was shocked at. Like, if it was that bad, wouldn't you just outright cancelled it? Like, you're clearly looking at your options with it.
Yep.
And maybe Disney will mandate and be like, no, fix this shit. I doubt it. And again, they're like, oh, we're hopeful for S.H.I.E.L.D. It's like, you said that last time, but you were going to cancel it.
Yeah.
What's going on with that? But
I'm okay with S.H.I.E.L.D. if it ends, like, because it's had a great run.
They absolutely have nothing after that, though.
Maybe they'll get New Warriors?
But then that would be 2019.
Oh, true. Ugh.
No.
Damn. That's interesting.
Well, back to Cloak and Dagger quickly. I honestly think they're holding that back because they want to cross it over with Runaways.
That's how I feel too, because it happens in the comics too. So
I'll say like it happens in the first like 20 issues.
Yeah.
And like the way they swapped around stuff in the Runaways show, like they've only now just run away, which happened at like issue 3. So I wonder if Like, plus, I don't think it's coincidental that these shows are coming out at the same time.
So, yeah, I agree with that.
It's too coincidental to me. So, like, I wonder if, towards the end of Cloak and Dagger, that they come into it. Like,
Yeah.
yes, California to like New Orleans is a bit far, but that defines running away.
True, and it's also the thing is like, I really love the Runaways. I love the comic. I actually really prefer the show more because they go into the parents and the history and like all that. Like, and a lot of times I happen to prefer it too. So it's.
Like, I started reading it literally when I finished the season premiere.
Oh,
I was
okay.
like, I've been putting it off for a while, so I'm going to start it. And it's like they actually like they stick really
Yep.
close to it, but at the same time they move a ton of stuff around.
Yeah.
So, that happened at the end, but in the show this happened at the start.
Yeah, like my wife, that's probably one of her favorite series. Like I kept telling her, I was like, you got to read it, you got to read it, you're gonna love it. So she read it, absolutely loves it, and she doesn't understand, like, because she hasn't read a lot of Captain America or Iron Man, so she's okay with changes they make to these characters. But now that she loves the Runaways so much, watching the series, she felt like me in the early days where I'm just like, oh, grumble, they changed this. But so she understands now how I felt about stuff. But she's even come around being like, you know what? With how much more they're exploring all these characters and the parents and stuff, she's actually like, yeah, no, I really like this adaptation. It's probably the closest Marvel stuck with the TV side to like.
Oh, it definitely.
Like, they don't mess around too much. Yeah. Like you said, they move stuff around, but it's solid as hell.
But like in season 2, like, because everyone's like, oh, it's not even connected. They don't even mention anything. It's like, can they just do the Avengers hotline bit from like the first issue?
Yeah.
And like just call it like a day with that. So I tried to call him, but it's just a robot. Like if it's
yeah. Yeah, no, it's so. I don't know. I'm enjoying the Runaways. I can't wait for Cloak and Dagger, New Warriors. Can they at least release a picture of that thing? Jesus, guys, come on. Like,
I mean, it hasn't even got a network, so.
Yeah, but they finished shooting like the all 13 episodes.
Did they actually finish shooting? I don't think they even started, did they?
No, from what I understand, they wrapped it up, and they were pitching the whole show as a one pick it up and air it. So, yeah, yeah.
I don't know if fuck knows. Like if like the time to know what was going to happen with that show was now because of the TCAs. So.
And nothing's been mentioned. Interesting, huh?
Mm.
Yep. Well, I guess now we're at the end of the show officially. So, thanks for joining us, guys. If you're the guy that woke up at the end when we said it's the end of the show, then we continued for another 5 minutes. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you guys next time. So, see you later, and all that good stuff. Forgot how to end the podcast.